Hey, dear Leo, I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your April 2021 horoscope. And I'm going to get right to it. Most likely, you have been super focused on work, on business, on your reputation in the public eye, and how to accumulate a little bit more resources for yourself. I would imagine that the month of March had you really focused on how you can better yourself, maybe through joining forces with others, that sort of thing. And so here we have the month of April energizing your ninth and 10th house. So let's start with April 3rd. We have Mercury entering Aries, which is in your ninth house. And so keep in mind, this is for Leo sun, rising, or moon signs. And so this will be activating this drive and desire to educate yourself on maybe some higher meanings or why you are doing what you're doing. What is it that gives you meaning? So when you were joining forces with another person or a group or a partnership in some way and going really deep and seeing how they added value to your life in whatever way, now you're most likely going to look at this and say, okay, how can I use this as a way to further educate not only myself, but maybe others of how it has benefited me and how it can then benefit them. So that could mean that some of your reach becomes even wider. So for example, if you started working with a new client in the month of March, you may find that this client now sends referrals to you, or you talk about the success and the stages of the work you're doing together. And that allows you to now gather others who also are like, yeah, I would like to know more about what you're doing. This is also a placement with Mercury here where broadcasting, public speaking, getting in your individual message to a broader audience gets activated. And this is individual message, meaning like who you are, how you show up in the world, and why you believe what you believe, why what you're doing, who you are is so important and so valuable to the rest of the world. So you're looking for ways in which you can develop more of your own thought process and sense of moral standards based on your belief system, and then sharing it and finding, like I say, who might benefit from this on a broader scale. And this could also have you quite active of the mind of really maybe questioning your belief systems and recharging them or reshaping them a little bit based on your own individual ideas or the way in which you want to kind of do your own dance. I'll call it you're also going to be calling yourself out to practice what you preach in this kind of energy. Then you're going to have a double emphasis with the moon canoodling with the sun in Aries on a new moon on the 11th in your ninth house. So you're going to have Mercury, the sun, the moon, all energizing this need to gather more knowledge, more information that can reinforce the belief systems that you hold on a particular subject matter, or that you hold about someone or something that anchors in a dogma, if you will, that for yourself. And this gives you your work, it gives your relationships, it gives your personhood meaning. And that's something that most human beings really enjoy or need, is they want to know that what they're doing has meaning and it has an impact. And I think that's the other thing that this new moon will be activating is how does what I do, what I say, who I'm associated with, how does that impact others in a greater way? This is also a time at a new moon where new connections with those on outside of your local area, so possibly those from long distances, connect with you. Could be that you take some sort of graduate program, and so you're connecting with others in online that are from all over the country or all over the world. Maybe you take on another level of certification, something that allows you to go deeper into learning and gathering information that's useful for you. That also reinforces, again, who you are, why you're doing it, what gives it meaning. The other thing that this new moon could activate is you could be caring for or being in touch with someone who is from a foreign background or from a long distance. So it could be, one-on-one, but most likely somebody who comes to visit you or you go to them. I know travel's still a little limited, but it's starting to open up a little bit more. So you may be setting your sights on future travel as well. The other thing that this new moon could activate is, even though it's in ninth house, which is not relationship house, that sort of thing, most of us are looking at relationships. And I would imagine that this one will be activating a future mindedness in your relationships and what you want to nurture. How do you nurture yourself in relationship to those on a broader scale? The other thing that may happen at this new moon, you may feel like you have to protect your beliefs against others who could try and challenge them. So keep your mind really sharp. I like to say that mantra means protector of the mind. So if you need to have a mantra in place for yourself that says, no matter what anybody else is saying and no matter what the outside world is showing me, this is my belief, and I'm going to repeat it over and over and over again so that it anchors in a really tangible way. And I'll share it with anybody who's willing to listen. April 14th, Venus will move out of your ninth house. So she's been activating this ninth house and attracting a lot of this belief systems and foreign people and foreign situations or broader situations for you. Now she's going to move into your 10th house, which is your career, your public image, your legacy. It's the fruits of the tree. It's what you are putting out to the world, how others view you, your work, how they view your reputation, who you are. So with Venus here, you're going to want to look good to the public. You're going to attract others who can really enhance your reputation as well. So strategic partnerships are important with Venus here, and building those relationships, anchoring them, nurturing them, giving them the ability to let you shine by their words, by their referrals, by them being able to say, hey, this person is amazing. This Leo really can shine. I will also say that with Venus here, there is the indication that your work is going to have public reputation or public attention. So if you're looking to promote yourself or you're looking to build your self-esteem or have your values and qualities really shown, this is a great placement for this to happen. Some of you may decide that you're ready for, now because we're dealing with Venus relationships, again, you're ready for that long-term commitment with somebody, and you're going to choose a partner who's going to enhance your status or maybe have some sort of financial gain. If you're in a bonded relationship, you may look at your partner and you may say, okay, how do we take all of our experiences, our resources, who we are as a couple, how do we make that into a way that looks really good, not just feels good to us as a couple, but that others see us as being a unified front, as building this really cool foundation, future, and being able to shine again when we're out in public. So some of your private life could be a little tense, but in your public life as a couple, you're that power couple. And the other thing you may notice is that because Venus is in Taurus here, it's where she rules. She rules Taurus and she rules Libra, but with her in her home sign, she's going to be very comfortable when it comes to taking her time, building from the ground up, making sure the sensual pleasures are there. And so when you're looking at it from this 10th house, you're going to want to achieve certain things in your relationships, in your finances, and in your reputation that will take time to build. But so you're going to want the resources there in order to do it, the tangible things. Now you're going to have Mercury on the 19th moving into Taurus as well, now activating that 10th house with the mind and your ideas and your conversations. And so most likely around this time, you're going to now tell the world, hey, this is all the things that I have learned with when Mercury was in the 9th house. And now I want to teach it to anybody that will listen. And I've put together a really beautiful visual. I've put together this presentation. I have something to say and I want to share it. And anything that you're teaching or sharing is going to help you achieve this next level in your career, or this next level of public status, or this next level of feeling as though you're adding value to the legacy that you want to leave behind. So this could also have you in an authority role, maybe as a parent with children, where you're able to say, this is what I've learned over time, and I want to share it with you, and I'm going to put it in a really tangible, useful way that now you, child, can apply it. Same thing goes as teacher student, that sort of thing. Your mind may also be really occupied with building these lasting connections. I mentioned leveraging relationships. So consider your powerful allies that can help you achieve your next steps. You want collaboration, especially with Venus here and now Mercury. You're going to want to communicate and collaborate with those that have the greatest influence with you. So consensus is important. Stay patient. This is the gift of Taurus. You can stay patient through the conversations and take your time, realizing you don't have to resolve everything in one conversation. Think about tangible things also that you need to achieve your goals, so that you can allow yourself to draw up a business plan, a vision, some organized way of understanding your thoughts and your dreams and how they can offer something beautiful to others. Because on the 20th, the sun now will energize Mercury and Venus here and your 10th house. And so that's going to give you, this is your ruler, it's going to give you more ability to shine, more ability, more vitality, more life, to be able to say, what I value, I can emanate. What I am now embodying, everything that I have accomplished over the last few weeks, months, years, whatever it might be. So it's a wonderful accumulation of things that you can now stand on a mountaintop, so to speak, and shout from the top and say, here I am Leo, hear me roar. Very appropriate. Now we've got Mars moving into Cancer on the 23rd, and this is going to be in your 12th house. Some astrologers will say that the 12th house is the house of the undoing. However, it is an undoing, but not necessarily in a bad way. It can be for those of us who go to the doom and gloom idea. However, I would offer that the undoing is really about us unbinding from the constructs that this human physical world had bound us in. And now we're in this boundless space in the 12th house where the subconscious emerges and a lot of things show up that we weren't aware of. I mean, you don't know what you don't know. And so with Mars here in Cancer, it may bring up a lot of patterns, a lot of old patterns, maybe mental patterns that you were like, wow, I have either been manipulated, or I've played the victim, or you're going to be in this fierce protection mode of others who have been victimized, or because you recognize their patterns because they were some of yours. And so you're able to now help them. You're able to support them very much like a mental health counselor or a special needs teacher, things like that. So you're going to find that people are going to come to you that will reflect some of your own old patterns, or maybe stir up a situation that you're now looking at and going, oh, I still have to work with this. I thought I was done with it. So watch yourself when towards the end of April, when there could be some codependency that also can show up if you're not careful, or you may need to withdraw and retreat a little bit. You may need to go within. Just be careful with Mars here that you don't create a battle within yourself. You don't start a war within yourself that doesn't need to be fought. This is a great placement for working with mental or spiritual illness. So if something does get stirred up, or if you're in that field, then just know that you have support, find your support, or be the support where you can really nurture and care for those who need your warmth and your strength, so that you create the safe container for them to open up. And then the same is for you, that if you're going through something, that you have that safety, that support to really open yourself up. And the nice thing with Mars here is that you can have the courage and you can be fearless to go really deep into the subconscious and really nurture your shadow, love yourself through this, and find great wisdom and realize, hey, I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I can lighten up. The other thing with Mars here is that your subconscious anger issues could rise up when you see someone playing the victim or being victimized. So it's possible that this shadow could suddenly show up and you may not even know it's there. So just be aware that if you get triggered and something comes in, that you may need to step back and do some self-care before you can help someone else. This is a big indication and placement for that very thing. Now, at the end of the month, the 26th, 27th, we have a full moon in Scorpio. It's in your fourth house of home. So remember, at the beginning of the month, you're going to have, middle of the month, you're going to have a lot of activation in that 10th house, but you've had ninth house into 10th house activation for the first part of April, middle of April. Now your fourth house. So think of, I mentioned the tree. The 10th house is the fruit. The fourth house is the roots of the tree. And so you're going to have a full moon, which is a releasing, and it's in Scorpio, which is all about deep emotional bonds. It's also about death and rebirth. It's about transformation and change. So this is dealing with your own home life, or where you feel most at home. So your strong bonds within your home life could really deepen during this time. You could anchor in so deeply and go, I am rooted right here because I'm emotionally invested in this person, this place, this thing. And you may find that you're craving this deeper intimacy. You have this great desire for more intimacy, to know yourself, to know where you came from, to understand your roots, your ancestors. You may also find that you want to form stronger bonds with those that you consider to be your greatest allies, your loved ones, the ones that mean the most to you. Now, the opposite can happen because it is a full moon. You could release somebody or something, a situation. This could find you leaving your home because you're no longer bonded with it. Because remember, this is about transformation and change. If you are looking at it from a professional lens, you could feel really at home at your work and deepen the work that you do. Or if you haven't been feeling good in the work you're doing, it didn't have meaning, because remember that ninth house has been active and it's not supporting the fruit that you're trying to put out there to the world with your reputation, then this time could have you releasing that role so that you can find something new that really anchors you and makes you feel really good. It also has an indication that your private and public life are going to be in opposition, which means that you may need to take regular time alone during this time to nurture yourself, to go deep into the belly of the earth, so to speak, and give yourself that love and affection. Or you find it with that special person that means so much to you, and it can be a very powerful chance to kind of renew yourself. You can also find that you may need to spend that real deep, quiet time contemplating where you've been, how you got there, so that as you move forward after this Scorpio full moon, it can look and feel very different, that you know that your future is being reshaped. And it has everything to do with your belief system, what you believe, what's your mindset. That's going to drive your actions and behaviors. And with all that 10th house activation happening, having that plan in place and it looking really good, all of those things are going to be helpful. This is also a time feeling really deeply rooted in your own space will give you that power and that energy to be in the public eye, to not lose that life force. So your home is going to be really important to you. All right, Leo, I hope that this helps. I would love to hear how it goes for you. Like, subscribe, share, comment, as well as find me at jamiedawn.com. And I look forward to supporting you however I can. Have a good month.